Oh, all right, we'll get going here in just one moment.
Sorry for the delay, Mr. Chair. We're ready to go.
Okay, great. We'll call the Planning Commission, the Lakewood Planning Commission to order this October 6th, 2021. If staff could call roll, please.
Don Daniels,
Here.
Connie Coleman Lackady,
Present.
Ryan Pearson,
Here.
Lynn Larson,
Here.
and both Philip Combs and Paul Wegman have been excused. You do have quorum, Chair.
Great, thank you so much. Before us, we have September 15th, 2021 minutes. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, we got
Second.
Mr. Pearson first, Mr. Larson second. Any changes, discussions? Seeing or hearing none at this time. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Hearing none, the minutes passed as written for September 15th, 2021. Any changes to our agenda tonight?
No, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. At this time, if we have anyone online for public comment, anyone wishing to speak on any subject is willing and able. If you are, do we have anyone signed up or online for public comment?
Ms. Devereaux, did you have anyone indicate that they wanted to speak tonight in public comment?
No, I did not.
And there's no one online, Mr. Chair, to do public comment.
Great. Seeing or hearing none at this time, we'll close the public comment. We'll move to number 6, the continuation of 2022 comprehensive plan docket list of hearing. It's a continuation of the public hearing. So Miss Tiffany.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll share my screen briefly. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So the public hearing was opened for the 2022 Comprehensive Plan Amendment docket list on September 15th, and the decision was made that evening to keep it open through this evening, in part because there was some information that Mr. Buer was providing to the City Council on one of the same topics as is included as a proposed amendment to the City Council on September 27th. So that is now going to be included in the docket public comments moving forward. And then also this evening, the Planning Commission is scheduled to take action on its resolution number 2022-04 to recommend in whole or in part what's before you in that resolution right now. Assuming that happens this evening, the 22 Comprehensive Plan Amendment docket list will move forward to City Council on October 25th. They have scheduled a public hearing on November 1st, and then they're scheduled to take action approving a docket on November 15th. Over the winter and into next spring, there will be substantive internal review of all of the proposed amendments that are included in the City Council's action. And then next spring and summer, that information will come back to you for substantive review. You'll have a public hearing and move it forward again to City Council for action by mid 2022. So if you'll recall, there were 7 included in the public hearing materials last meeting. The first one relates to tree preservation. Second is the Tillicum Neighborhood Plan and Center of Local Importance. And then there's a number of others. I'm going to walk through each one of these very quickly. The first one regards tree preservation and looking at not only the policies and information within the comprehensive plan, but related development code language. And so in his September 27th presentation to the City Council, he included this table as well as some other materials. But essentially, he will bring this to you in much more depth on December 1st. But in summary, what we have is some suggested recommendations regarding tree preservation in the 2 left-hand columns here. And then you see related policy considerations for those items in the right-hand columns of these 2 boxes. So it's a definition section, the purpose section, talking about whether or not residential lots of a certain size are exempt or not, deciding what's an emergency removal, excuse me. What does significant tree include? Talking about critical area language and definitions, looking at the standards for tree preservation when doing a subdivision, looking at the critical area related code language, looking at the energy and climate change chapter, which the Planning Commission reviewed in this last comprehensive plan package, and then looking at a public participation plan, excuse me, and projected timeline. The second amendment is number 2022-02, related to Tillicum Neighborhood Plan and Center of Local Importance Review. Just for reference for the Planning Commission's benefit, down here you'll see a map, and you've got Tillicum in general, and then this overlay, this light purple, is what is considered the center of local importance in the comprehensive plan that was put in place as far back as 2014, if not earlier. And so that overlay is part of Tillicum. It doesn't include all of it. And what the intent is with this amendment is to take a look at both the 2011 neighborhood plan and also the boundaries and what is assumed to be the purpose for the center of local importance, and have both of those considered as part of an amendment potentially coming back to you next spring. So the entire area of Tillicum will be under review, as well as the neighborhood plan, the center of local importance map boundaries also. Numbers 3 through 6 are all essentially technical amendments, meaning there's not new policy being discussed. What we have in 2022-03 is compliance with Vision 2050, the countywide planning policies, and several city council policies that were recently adopted. 04 is talking about adult family homes being located or not in the air corridor zones 1 and 2. The 5th amendment is to just do a technical change throughout the comprehensive plan to make sure it reflects the fact that Vision 2050 is the current document at the regional level, not Vision 2040. Number 6 relates to updating certain maps within the comprehensive plan that are simply outdated based in what's happened with sub areas, with city landmarks, with the legacy plan having been adopted. And then the last one is talking about the parking requirements in both the citywide chapter 18A 80 and also in specifically the Lakewood Station District Sub-Area Plan, which is in 18C 600. Both of these have been recently adopted, but based on some activity with the City Council in the last few months, they asked that these be reviewed again in this comprehensive plan cycle. There was one privately initiated application. It was in Tillicum actually, and two things about it. First of all, it only referred to a single parcel, and what that would mean is it wouldn't be a comprehensive plan amendment application. It would actually go through what's called the site-specific rezone process, and there's a specific section within Title 18A that defines how that's done. However, because this is something that's in the Tillicum neighborhood, the second application that is moving forward, 2022-02, will look at this parcel in light of the update to the neighborhood plan and also the center of local importance. So in staff's recommendation, this item would not be included in the application for the docket list as its standalone application, but in fact would be kind of absorbed into that second proposed amendment, which would look at Tillicum as a whole. So the proposed motion in front of the Planning Commission tonight, once the public hearing is closed, would be to approve with or without amendment the resolution 2022-04, which is included in tonight's meeting packet, recommending the docket list for the 2022 comprehensive plan amendment cycle. And with that, I turn it back over to you, Mr. Chair, for any questions.
Great, thank you so much. First of all, is there anyone signed up on public hearing?
Ms. Devereaux, was anyone signed up to wanting to speak tonight?
I did not have any request to speak.
Right. Thank you. And there are no people online right now, Mr. Chair, wanting to testify in the public hearing.
Great. So is there any questions from the fellow commissioners in regards to this docket before us? No question, I see.
I don't have any questions per se, but I would just say that this really looks like it's been This is Lynn Larson. Mr. Chair, I really think that a lot of work has gone into this, and the people that have done that work need to be commended. I think they've digested a lot of material into action plan points that moving forward are understandable and comprehensive and good service to the city. So I would, when the time comes, certainly vote for moving this forward.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. I concur with Mr. Larson as well for commending the staff, with all the questions fellow commissioners had, citizens had. This is looks like a vetted docket, and I will be voting as well to approve and pass it on to the city council for their consideration. So, hearing or seeing no other questions or comments to staff or each other, I will call for a motion on resolution 2022-04.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, can you close the public hearing
Oh,
first?
sorry. Yep. Sorry. Jesus, without someone sitting out there and everything else. So yes, sorry. I will close the public hearing at this time of the proposed 2022 comprehensive plan docket list at this time. So public hearing is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keeping us in line. Okay, now I will ask for a motion on resolution 2022-04 of the comprehensive plan docket list resolution. Do I have a? I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, it's 2021-04, isn't it?
No, it's.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right, Ms. Coleman Lackady. It should be 2021-04. My apologies.
Okay, very good catch, Ms. Connie.
Wow, good check, Connie.
All right, so let's do this again. I'm looking for a motion on resolution 2021-04 of the comprehensive plan docket list. Do I have a motion?
I move
So moved.
that.
Go ahead, Connie, you first.
I move that we adopt resolution number 2021-04.
Yep, thank you, Ms. Connie. We have a first, and was that Mr.
Second.
Larson? Yeah, Mr. Larson, second. Any questions?
Yeah.
No questions or amendments? No, hearing none. At this time, all those in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the resolution 2021-04 passes and sent on to the council. Thank you so much, fellow commissioners and staff. All right, we move on to unfinished business. Action. We already did action on it. How about that? How about next, the adult family home in the air corridor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
AC2. Yep.
So Mr. Buer was, for technical reasons, something's going on with his computer permissions or something, was unable to log in for you to be able to see his face, but he is on the phone. So Mr. Buer, do you want to go ahead and speak to adult family homes in Air Corridor 1 and 2? Need to get you unmuted. Go ahead. We can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Very briefly on adult family homes in AC1 and AC2. Next week, I have a meeting with the Joint Base Lewis management staff, including, I believe, their legal counsel. We will be providing them an overview of the current issues that we have in the air corridor. That will also be then next followed by meetings with the SSMCP executive leadership team. That's most likely going to occur in November, and then follow that by the SSMCP steering committee. They will be meeting on this either late November or perhaps December. Once I have recommendations from those three groups, then I will proceed to the back to the Planning Commission to review what we have found. That's the status
Excellent.
currently. I have no additional information at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Buer. Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Buer? Seeing none from fellow commissioners. I thank you, Mr. Buer. Appreciate it. We'll move to number 8. We have no new business. We go to number 9. Is any staff reports?
Just very briefly, your upcoming schedule. So after tonight, the next meeting will be in 2 weeks on October 20th. I will not be available. I will be out of the state, but Mr. Buer and Ms. Devereaux will be running the meeting. And the conversation will include a discussion of the energy and climate change chapter. Now that it's adopted through last year's comprehensive plan process, the City Council asked that the Planning Commission develop a 5-year implementation plan, if you'll recall. So this will be the start of that process. Mr. Buer will introduce the information to you and kind of guide, I think, initially how, or suggest how he thinks would be the most efficient way to develop a 5-year plan coming from you back to the City Council. Following that, there will be a November 3rd meeting, which will continue to discuss that. That's going to be probably a pretty hefty conversation. November 17th, there will be also some information coming to you regarding several housing and business and owner assistance information. The American Rescue Plan Act will provide you an update there. And there may be some conversation at that meeting regarding the adult family home information if all of those meetings that Mr. Buer just mentioned have happened. So with that, I am done, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you. Any other reports from fellow commissioners? Nope. Connie, Mr. Pearson, nothing. Okay, great. So any other comments or concerns? We kind of, like Ms. Tiffany said, we would get through this pretty fast if everything went right. And
That's
guess
right.
what? Everything went right.
Yay!
This is Lynn. I have a comment that I may or may not be available on October 20th. I'll be out of state as well. And we're slated to be back on the 20th, but it's an open-ended schedule at this point. So I will update by email as we get closer to that date with staff.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Thank you. So hearing or seeing no other comments at this time, I will call the Planning Commission to adjourn at this time. Thank you so much and appreciate the all the comments and the well wishes to everyone. Thanks.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
Thanks. Take care.
Aye.
Thank you.
Bye.